This one's really good. So I'm always reading a card to start. A card from this deck, The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, to start the reading. And I'm already in awe of this, so I hope you enjoy. You shall be free indeed when your days are not without a care, nor your nights without a want and a grief, but rather when these things girdle your life, and yet you rise above them naked and unbound. And how shall you rise above your days and nights unless you break the chains which you at the dawn of your understanding have fastened around your noon hour? In truth, that which you call freedom is the strongest of these chains, though its links glitter in the sun and dazzle your eyes. And what is it but fragments of your own self you would discard that you may become free? I'm going to go straight into the reading from here because I don't want to break the chain, so to speak, of emotion that's flowing through me with that. That is profound. And I think that we need to chew on that a little bit in this reading. This concept of the notion of freedom, of always wanting freedom, of wanting to be free, of wanting to like break loose of whatever is limiting us and making us feel like our life isn't big and bold enough, isn't free enough, isn't financially wealthy enough, isn't blah, blah, blah. And realizing that maybe looking at that need for freedom a little differently now, and finding true freedom, which is found even when we don't have the things that we want, even when we still feel limited, even when we feel trapped, and finding a true, I guess, like a spiritual freedom within the self that transcends all the external shit, all the stuff that isn't here yet, isn't apparent around us, and knowing that we are in fact free even when our external circumstance isn't our perfect manifested vision board, so to speak, even when we're not physically free in some ways. And the last line, this is turning into a bit of a, like a, what do you call it, book club, but bear with me because I think this is important. And what is it but fragments of your own self you would discard that you may become free? To think that all of our life is, first of all, an aspect of God and of ourself, but also I think it's actually, we can think about this in an almost psychological sense, that what is it about ourselves that we think is not enough as it is now, that we need to break free from, that we need to discard in order to be something that's better, that's more free, that's more alive, that's, you see what I'm saying? Like, which parts of you are you thinking need to go away so that you feel free? That is a question that I think we all need to ponder right now, especially because there is so much noise around us, whether in this tarot reading space, but also in just in general on social media and then in our society. A lot of noise that is over time bending our minds and bending our hearts to away from the true self, away from this kind of seeking of inner freedom and balance and like love with self and with world, and instead seeking more and more and more in order to feel safe, in order to feel successful. And I myself want those things. Like, I want to be more, I want to have more in some ways so that I can feel more physically free to move about, let's say, or to have the things that I want. I think we all have that aspect. We all have that going on. And what we're being called to do in this reading is to, I think, well, we'll see where this goes, but for now, we're being called to look at that and to maybe put it aside for the time being so that we can find something deeper to attune to and to connect with. And maybe it can become an anchor as we navigate, you know, the wild, out of control capitalism that is, let's just say, even just the spiritual landscape out here on social media. And anyone who is watching this reading, you are someone who is artistic or creative in some way. You're like building a business, or you're doing something that takes a lot of bravery. You are creative, you are spiritual, you're heart-centered. And even still, I think that's why this message is meant for you. It's because you know that there is truth beyond just, you know, the things that we want and feel we need. And yet you also know that you deserve those things, and you deserve comfort, and you deserve wealth. And all of that is true. But to feel like we're trapped, like we can't, like we're bound by things, like we need to fight against, like that is where we're sitting right now in this, that's what we're sitting with in this reading. So let's get another oracle message from the Rose Oracle. What's the message, goddess? Okay, it obviously fell on the floor as per usual. Sub Rosa, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning and teaching. So this is about like wisdom that is underlying, wisdom that is hidden but needs to be, or is being found, or is being uncovered to some degree. And then we also have the wastelands, sustainability, slow down, tend to your garden on the bottom of the deck here. So there is something happening here where things are falling apart, things are breaking down for you to be able to find the wisdom underneath it all. But I don't feel like this doesn't feel like a despairing kind of energy. This feels like a breaking apart of illusion so that you can see truth. So anything in any aspect of your life, or maybe it's just like kind of everything in general, you might actually be activating this in your own life. Like you're asking for clarity, and you're willing to disengage from illusion, or you're willing to allow things to kind of break apart so that you can really get to the core of things and really build from a place of authenticity and care for yourself. I think you are seeking greater wisdom, but you are also, and you're learning and you're absorbing a lot of information, but you are also preparing to teach others to some degree. Let's get some tarot cards for this. Oh, yeah. Oh my, you cannot make this shit up. The Devil in flipping reverse. Are you, sorry, because you can't literally find another card in tarot that is more specifically about releasing yourself from imposed, whether it's usually self-imposed restriction, limitation, bonds. This is about stepping out of that which binds you to a lack mentality, to a limited point of view, to thinking that things just are a certain way and that you're trapped. This is literally the card of getting yourself out of that, of untrapping yourself. I think this Khalil Gibran card with that excerpt is like a deep spiritual message. But I do also think that this transcends the mundane and the spiritual. Like I think that this message goes for kind of daily life as well as like a deeper spiritual meaning. And I trust you to be able to apply it in those ways. Oh my God, the cards always fall on the ground. Always. It's such a thing. Oh God. Okay. Wow, this is so great. 10 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles. So this could be definitely in terms of what you're building, what you're working towards, what you are creating. And up until now, you felt like you've been limited in certain aspects, like you've not been able to, you've been like, I don't have this resource to do that. I don't have this to do that. I need to do this before I can do that. Like, it has to be this way, it has to be that way. And gosh, why can't I just be more, like, why can't I have more money behind me so this is easier? Or why do I not have more free time? Like, I don't have any time. I'm so locked into going to my job or taking care of these people or like whatever. And this reading is here to like remind you that you're already ready. You already have access to the information that you need in order to move forward with this thing. You have already built up, look, you've already planted seeds and things are growing. You might not be completely content per se with how things have grown so far. Like, you might be thinking that it's not good enough of a yield, but the 10 of Pentacles is here to say, like, dude, like, just keep going. Just keep tending the garden. This literally says, tend to your garden. Look at that. So tend to the garden and it will become this 10 of Pentacles, like, beautiful, more than just a garden. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, I have to reference 100 Years of Solitude, because if you've read it or like watched the show, or what, I think there's probably a movie, you know that at least at the beginning there's like the illustration of how the town where the family grows in, how that's found, and then how they like build a small house, and then how that house then builds and builds and builds, like they build on it and it becomes this huge estate basically. And that's what I'm seeing with this, is like starting from scratch, starting from like literally the wilds of a jungle. Like, nothing is it was just nothing, it was just raw material basically. And you started, and it was like a pioneering act for whatever. And I mean this in terms of like, for you, it doesn't mean that what you're doing, like, no one else is doing it, but I just mean that, like, from your own life, it's like no one set you up for success. Nobody handed you this. You didn't have anyone else that was like helping you to make this happen. Your own ingenuity helps you plant the seeds. And yes, it's been a slow growth process up until now, but this process of you, this is very specific, okay? You letting go of the mentality that you are trapped or that you are stuck is the key to this thing flourishing. Because all that needs to happen is you keep doing what you're doing, and it will flourish, and it will build into this incredible like vision of wealth and success. But you need to be able to allow yourself to change your mindset and just free yourself. Like, and I kind of get the feeling that you're like, I'm already doing that. So this is like a confirmation or an activation that, like, yes, you must, like, now is the time to stop thinking that you are in any way limited, because you are not. You absolutely are whole, you are cohesive, you have all the parts that you need within yourself to become free, completely free. And it's going to feel like a personal thing first, like like a private and maybe spiritual experience first, and then your outer world will like reflect that freedom back to you with all of the things that and resources that you need in order to actually feel physically free and like live with freedom. But it starts within, and it starts with the process of you seeing yourself clearly, seeing what it is within you that you think, okay, let me sit on this one just for, or like stay on this note for a sec, because I want to clarify. So when we are thinking that we are like trapped by other things, right? Let's say we're in a relationship that we're not super happy with or something. There's something about it that's making us, maybe it's really obvious or maybe it's not really obvious. And there's something that's making you feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I can't get out of it, but I'm not happy. Instead of focusing on what the other person is doing that's wrong, it's really important that we turn the attention back onto ourselves and ask ourselves the exact same questions that we would want to ask the other person. How are we showing up? How are we managing our energy? How is that? And this is not to say that like whatever you're doing is like, or whatever bad things other people are doing, it's your fault. That's not it. But it's really important to look at the self first, and then to like mend where things might be broken within, and then to present ourselves in our relationship as a unified being, as someone who loves themselves and someone who is like kind of clear on what's going on within themselves. And then from there, making decisions, right, about what is right and what is aligned and what isn't. I mean, that's just my advice, but I think that that is important. And I think that it goes for basically all aspects of life, even in work. If we're like, this job is like, I'm so trapped in it. Okay, let's sit with that for a bit. Like, what about the job feels entrapping? Okay, got it. What in you thinks that you are not, like, that you have to rely on that job, and that you know what I mean? There's so much tied up even just in asking yourself just that one question. You will probably find questions like, why do I think I deserve this? Why am I scared to move on to something else? Am I like, why do I feel afraid to go out into a different scenario than this one that's causing me pain, or to like spend time finding a way out? I don't know. There's so many questions. There's so many questions that you will end up asking yourself. And all that to say that process of self-coherence, of finding self-coherence, is what sets you free, truly. Because otherwise, you're just like this excerpt kind of brought up for us in the beginning. Otherwise, you really are just fighting aspects of yourself. You're fighting your own psyche. You're fighting your own like emotional blocks, or you're fighting your own shadow. You're fighting your own pain. You know, like pushing things away and running away and feeling despair are all real and true, and in some ways beautiful things to experience, and we all are going to like always be dealing with them. But we have to remember that, you know, pretty much everything comes down to what's happening within, and then from there we can then like look out again. So anyway, I hope that freaking resonated. Yeah, I hope that resonated. We have Wheel of Fortune that just revealed itself too. So this is a really cool like confirmation about the wheel turning, how like it's now your turn to experience something new. Like I'm really getting that's like, pew, like we're turning the Wheel of Fortune. Everything is kind of going to be turned on its head for you because of this shift in mindset, because of this. I mean, it could be even like an embodied shift that you're making, that you're taking to like get yourself out of scenarios that are restricting you. Like, fuck, and you just leave it. You're like, no, like this is so weird. Like I don't need to be feeling unfree, because I can just get myself out of this thing, get myself out of this situation. Yeah, and that's going to just set everything in motion. It's going to make everything like run more smoothly for you, but it's also going to allow you to like root down really deep into this process of building. I think you also are learning how to like conserve your energy in the right ways, right? And so how to like use your energy, your life force energy, your magnetic energy, your like, you know, your prana, and how to how to like conserve it and then use it in like the most potent ways, most effective ways, healthy ways. Yeah. With sustainability, this is also about, this is hugely, I think, about that preservation of energy as a form of like self-love and a form of self-respect, it goes hand in hand with how you feel like you've been being like somehow blocked, restricted, or controlled by external forces, and how you're like taking all of your power back and you're completely rejigging, redesigning how you are using your energy, how you're claiming your energy, and then how you're using it for the purpose of sustainable action, sustainable productivity. Sustainability, slow down, tend your gut. Yeah, this is, I'm really getting this. It's like getting really private with it, getting really personally focused, and yeah, and that, I'm just seeing, look at this woman sitting here like a priestess. So you're getting really close. You're getting, or sorry, not close, but you're coming back to self, and you're getting in tune with that like pure self and working from there. And when you work from there, you work from the present moment as well. So you're not so concerned about these big stories that swim around in our heads and like the anxiety about it. You actually have a way to come back to presence within yourself, and then keep building, keep working. And you know that if you just do that, if you just focus, if you focus on what you're doing, you focus on your, sustaining your energy, putting up those boundaries, taking off the ropes around your neck, so to speak, that are like making you think that you're actually trapped when you're not, then, things just like are going to keep building. And your work, that means that you're really working in tandem with the universe and with God. You're really like, you're in flow. And I don't have like water cards here, but I'm seeing flow with the earth, like flow with earth energy, with wealth management. Like it's like the actual tangible energy of things being done, and then action, and then like results coming from that physical act of putting energy into something, and like investing yourself into something. Yeah. I do feel like yeah. Yeah. One sec. I'm just getting this other, because like a few cards flew out, so I'm just checking them to see if there's a message here for us. I'm feeling like you're really ready to like go forward with something with passion, to really just like, let's get this fucking show on the road. I think you have the connection and the wherewithal now to get whatever you want to get done. I also think that you have control over yourself and over your life now, and you're passionate. You really want to like just use your wisdom and use the life force within you to make something really happen. And I think you need and you want and you will you need and you want to and you will like be free in this. I forgot that was our like message, but this really what the Knight of Wands is saying here is you'll be free, truly free. And this magician is like, the magician is like this being who is completely in control of like all the aspects of their being, of like the emotional, the mental, the physical, the spiritual, everything. It's like they're like, whoosh, I shall create, like, I don't know, it's just giving power and it's giving passion and it's giving readiness and confidence. It's really giving confidence. The magician also sometimes works in the darkness, like they work behind the scenes. So there's an element of you having this like really like deep integrity and power behind what you were like creating, because I do think the Knight of Wands has this expressive energy. So however you're coming to the world, you're coming in this like confident, maybe even playful, but like really confident and like charming energy. But behind that is this like deeper connection, this deeper learning that you have built up over time. And you may even be like working with magics in some way, but like to help you on this road and to really like utilize those keys that we can use. Really, like you're finding keys and you're using them. Yeah, and I think you're keeping this a little bit private for now, which is totally fine. I think that's actually the right thing to do when we're really getting our momentum and getting our power going, like revving. It is important sometimes to do that behind the scenes and not to tell even our closest people, even if they ask. Just like I've had to do that before, and I still do that, and like it's because I'm protecting the things that I'm growing, and because I do not need to have any other voices involved or to have opinions or to have like energy that might not be totally positive affect the things that I'm creating. And because you're doing so much inner work around releasing limitation and releasing fear and things like that and illusion, it is an internal process and it can't always be described to others, and it's sometimes best just to leave others to their own devices for now while these things grow and while these things come into being. And you might like seem a little different to people, like you might be coming off really strong to people, or your confidence might trigger people, and you're just going to have to be secure in that because it's part of your new era, right? With this Wheel of Fortune, it's part of what you need to be in order to break free of the devil thing, right? Like, this is actually part of your destiny to step into this aspect of yourself and to step into this expression of yourself. And it is absolutely the right timing for this. It's the right timing in the year. It's the right timing for you. Like, everything is aligning, and you just need to continue what you're doing. And yeah, you'll get this 10 of Pentacles. It's like yeah, it's like destiny. Like it's part of your life story is tapping into and attaining the wealth and the like success and the fruits of your labor that you have genuinely been calling in and that you've been wanting. But now there's this like there's this releasing of the bitterness of the thoughts that you aren't free. And for some reason that was really important, right? Like that was really important to let go of this idea that you can't, or that you're like not able, or that like there's things that are stopping you. And releasing that in your self-concept is like freeing you completely to fulfill your destiny. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. See you next time.